Hello and welcome to another edition of QB1 with top flight quarterback expert Crissy Froyd, as she is here to talk about Auburn QB TJ Finley. First, what did TJ Finley show in the games he did play at LSU?
Yeah, I thought there was a lot of ups and downs. I thought that there were some games that he went in and really looked like he could be the guy. I think there was a point in time that a few of us thought that maybe TJ Finley had the chance to take the reins and become the starter at LSU. But then he had some struggles in between, just kind of the guys that LSU was bringing in and what was going on there with his decision making errors, and kind of he hit a rough patch there that it became clear that it was time for him to go and that he was not going to have a chance to really claim this starting job and hold on to it.
Where do you feel he has struggled, and where does he need to get better on all the various levels, tactically, everything? What does he need to get better?
I think we've seen some decision-making flaws. I think we've seen him get a little bit nervous in the pocket. I think that there have been some things that he just could have done differently on certain plays. And so I think that if he can come into Auburn throughout this camp and then get better at that he's probably the safest option in terms of just having been at Auburn the longest out of all these guys, which is kind of weird to say with how the fact that he's a transfer himself. But I do think that there's a chance that he could come in and get the starting position, but it's not going to be easy.
Talk to me about the quarterback situation at Auburn currently, and how will he factor into it?
Yeah, we have Zach Calzada that comes in from Texas A&M. I think that's a really tough guy who's shown a lot of what he can do. He had a lot of struggles at Texas A&M, but he also was a big piece in getting the win against Alabama, and was, I think, slightly injured during that game and still fought through it to make sure that the team got the win. And without him and what he did there at the end, I'm not sure that they would have. And I think that speaks volumes about him as a player and a person from an intangibles perspective. But I think that we've seen both of these players, between Calzada and Finley, struggle as a passer. And then they have a new Oregon transfer as well that's in the middle of this quarterback competition, but he doesn't really have any experience. And so whenever we look at these three combined, you kind of get the sense that it's probably going to come down to a close race between Calzada and Finley. And there's plenty of reason to believe that it'll be Finley's show at least to start on.
How do you think this new Auburn system that they have there will affect TJ and honestly the other quarterbacks in the QB room?
Yeah, I think that's something that's going to remain to be seen just kind of throughout the fall, how well they adjust, what they pick up on, and then who ends up fitting in the best. Because sometimes you'll have a coaching change and there will be a guy that is projected to be the starter, and then there's another quarterback that kind of comes in and fits in a little bit better. But all three of these guys have a lot of question marks surrounding them. They all have a great need for improvement, whether that's in playing more games. That goes for all of them, improving in decision making, improving in accuracy. But I think that as when we look at Finley and we want to give him the edge, it comes down to the fact of the slightly better level of experience, the fact that he's 6'7" and 246 pounds, has a prototypical frame, has a really good arm as well. And so I think there's a lot of things to like. It's just a matter of who makes the best mental adjustment. And I think that it's really anybody's guess. I don't think it's going to be the Oregon transfer, but I do think this is going to be closely fought between Calzada and Finley.